Hello, dear friend. It's such a comfort to have your company again as the day winds down. Tonight, I want to carry you away to a place where rose-colored cliffs hold secrets older than memory. So close your eyes and imagine soft desert breezes. Allow your breathing to slow and let your imagination drift to a hidden valley carved from stone, the color of a sunset. There's a story waiting there, one that's best heard with a quiet mind and a rested spirit. Take a moment to nestle into your blankets, let your body become heavy, and breathe out the weight of the day. Tonight, we'll wander gently through the mysteries of the Petra Treasury, one quiet fact at a time. There's no need to stay awake. If sleep comes for you, let it carry you peacefully. If nights like these help you unwind, I'd love for you to subscribe so I can be here whenever you need a quiet escape. Now, let's begin. The Treasury, known by its Arabic name Al-Khazneh, has long fooled the imagination. Despite the legends, it was never a glittering storehouse for a pharaoh's gold. In truth, it is a magnificent royal tomb, carved with infinite patience straight into the living sandstone cliff. Its very name, however, comes from a Bedouin tale whispered across centuries that an Egyptian ruler secreted a priceless treasure inside the great stone urn that crowns the very top of the facade. Generations of eyes have looked up at that urn, some even firing rifle shots hoping to crack it open and spill out riches. But the urn is solid rock, a single massive piece of the mountain itself, and so the legend remains, a gentle echo of human hope woven into the stone, making this tomb feel all the more enchanted. To stand before this wonder, you must first pass through a corridor of dreams. The Sikyu is a narrow, winding gorge, its walls of rich red stone soaring almost 100 meters high, closing in so tightly that the sky becomes a ribbon of blue. As you drift along this ancient path, the air cools and the sounds of the outside world vanish, replaced by the soft crunch of sand underfoot and the whisper of wind. It's a journey measured not in meters, but in heartbeats, each bend building a gentle suspense, a hushed anticipation. And then, through a final slender opening, the treasury appears, just a fragment at first, a carved column and a dancing figure, revealed slowly until the entire breathtaking facade breaks into view. The thin sliver of light at the end grows into a golden embrace, and you are left standing in awe, as if the city itself has chosen to unveil its secret to you alone. The mastery of its creation is almost beyond belief. Nabatean stonemasons did not build upward from the ground. They began their work from the very top of the cliff, carving the ornate facade as they lowered themselves on swaying scaffolds. Imagine them, high above the desert floor, chiseling delicate rosettes and acanthus leaves while the wind played around them. With each descending level, they ensured that no fallen fragment of stone could damage the exquisite details already shaped below. It was a method of both grace and foresight, a suspended ballet of engineering that took years of patient toil. From the great broken pediment at the apex down to the sculpted deities at the base, every inch was carved with this downward flow, leaving a monument that seems not to have been built but simply revealed from the heart of the mountain. The color that gives Petra its soul is a gift from the earth itself. Within the sandstone, invisible particles of iron oxide, the same mineral that gives rust its blush, lie sleeping. When sunlight touches the rock, it awakens a living spectrum. In the softness of early morning, the treasury glows with a pale, buttery gold, but as the sun arcs across the sky and begins to set, a transformation unfolds. The light thickens, the walls absorb each ray, and the stone shifts through shades of peach, salmon, and dusty rose until it reaches a deep, passionate crimson. It's as if the building is breathing color, exhaling warmth into the cooling evening air. This daily ritual, this quiet drama of light and mineral, is a reminder that even the most solid things can hold a fleeting, tender beauty. Look closely at the details and you'll find a story of peaceful coexistence. Corinthian columns, with their leafy capitals borrowed from the temples of Greece, stand alongside the lotus and papyrus blooms of Egypt, all woven together with the distinct, bold lines of Nabatean tradition. There is no clash in this design, only a harmonious conversation between cultures. This was Petra's true treasure. It was a crossroads, a sanctuary where caravans of spice and silk would pause, bringing not just goods but ideas, stories, and art. The architects took these offerings and crafted a style that welcomed everyone, a visual poem of acceptance. Even now, that silent message remains carved into the stone, a testament to a time when the desert was not a barrier, but a gathering place, and a building could be a friend to all who passed beneath its shadow. As we step inside, the elaborate world of the facade gives way to a quiet secret. The chamber within is surprisingly simple, a square space carved with humble intent deep into the cool heart of the mountain. The rock feels ancient and still, holding a natural chill that whispers of centuries past. Here, light and shadow rest in perfect balance, creating a hollow canvas of emptiness. There are no grand carvings or golden treasures, just the profound quiet of a space that asks for nothing but your silent reflection. The walls are bare, their surface polished by time alone, and the air carries a scent of mineral and mystery. This is the true heart of the monument, not a chamber of kings, but a quiet room for the soul. And while we rest inside this still chamber, let us follow the story of water outside. Imagine the hands of the Nabateans, gentle architects of the desert. They were masters of a quiet miracle, carving hidden channels into the sandstone cliffs to guide the rare gift of rainwater into their city. A network of terracotta pipes, silent and patient, ran through the stone to feed a secret garden. In the heart of the drifting sands, a lush oasis bloomed, its green palms and cool pools a testament to their ingenuity. They did not conquer the desert, they simply listened to its whispers and created a gentle harmony. The water flowed like a whispered secret, from the distant hills to the city's core, sustaining life where none should exist. These silent channels, no wider than a hand, were carved with such precision that every drop was a treasure. Listen to the phantom trickle of water in your mind, a sound of life amidst the silence of stone. That water nurtured a city of such artistry that it still takes our breath away. Just let your gaze rise for a moment and try to drink in the height of it. The treasury soars nearly 40 meters high, an immense monument that feels both overpowering and serene. Each column stands in perfect symmetry, a visual song of balance that steadies the wandering mind. The soft curves of the pediment invite the eye to dance along its rhythm, creating a harmony that feels carved from a single, timeless dream. It does not scream for your attention, instead, it stands as a silent anchor in the rose-red canyon, radiating a calm, eternal grandeur. The scale is humbling, a steady presence that has watched over the valley for 2 millennia. Close your eyes and picture its silhouette against the deep blue sky, a shape so perfect it seems to have grown there, a natural part of the Earth's art. For a very long time, this silent grandeur was known only to the stone itself. For so many centuries, this city was a whispered secret, hidden from the wide world's eyes. It belonged only to the local Bedouin tribes, who lived as one with the stone, their breath and footfall a natural part of the geology. The canyons kept their silence, a sacred trust, until a quiet ghost entered the valley in 1812. A Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, disguised and reverent, stepped into the hidden realm like a spirit returning to a memory. He witnessed a beauty that the West had forgotten, and the secret began its gentle exhale into history. The Bedouin had guarded this knowledge, a silent partnership with the rock, for generations upon generations. Imagine the explorer's heart beating softly under a foreign robe, as he first glimpsed the treasury's faint outline through the narrow sick. He became the first outsider in centuries to stand in that holy quiet. That holy quiet has a very special mood today, especially as the light fades. As the sun surrenders its last light, a new kind of illumination begins to take over. Imagine the vast plaza before the treasury slowly filling with the warm, dancing glow of thousands of flickering candles. Each small flame sends a soft shadow playing across the rose-colored stone, a silent orchestra of light and movement. The entire canyon seems to breathe in this amber luminescence, creating a dreamlike atmosphere that cradles you in absolute peace. The night air is cool, the stars are distant pinpricks above the canyon walls, and the world shrinks to this single, perfect moment of quiet beauty. It is a scene so serene that it feels like a memory from a life you have yet to live, a gentle lullaby of light. Listen to the soft crackle of the wicks, their tiny voices joining in a hushed chorus, and let the warm golden hues paint a sense of deep and abiding calm within you. Deep within the ancient city of Petra lies a structure that has captivated imaginations for centuries, known as the Treasury or Al-Khazneh. Yet this peaceful sanctuary was never meant to store gold or jewels. It was likely carved as a royal tomb for the Nabatean king Eredes IV, a final resting place of quiet dignity. The entire facade was sculpted directly into the living rose-red sandstone cliffs during the 1st century AD, a seamless fusion of human artistry and natural beauty. Here, Hellenistic columns and graceful sculptures blend harmoniously with the local Nabatean craft, creating a monument that seems to whisper stories of a distant time. To reach the treasury, you would drift through the Iskew, a narrow winding gorge that stretches for over a kilometer. The towering walls of the canyon rise high above, their surfaces painted in shifting shades of gold and rose by the filtered sunlight. This shaded passageway is naturally quiet, with only the sound of your own footsteps echoing softly on the ancient stone. The path turns and twists gently, each bend offering a new view of the sculpted rock that feels sculpted by time itself. There is a gentle anticipation that builds with every step, as if the earth is guiding you toward a hidden revelation. Then, suddenly, through a slim opening at the end of the gorge, the treasury appears in a glow of warm light. As you gaze upon the treasury's facade, your eyes are drawn to the intricate carvings that adorn its surface. Soft stone sculptures depict mythological figures like the goddess Tyche, who embodies fortune and the spirit of the city, and the fierce yet graceful Amazons. These detailed reliefs were not just decorations, they were a quiet statement of the Nabatean people's cosmopolitan nature. Through these figures, they displayed their open connection to the Mediterranean world, absorbing Greek and Roman influences into their own desert culture. The stone seems to breathe with stories of ancient gods and heroes, each carving a gentle embrace of a world beyond the cliffs. In the soft light, these figures almost appear to move, whispering secrets of a kingdom that was once a crossroads of civilizations. High atop the ornate facade, there is a large stone urn that has captured the imagination of many. Local legends once whispered that this urn held hidden gold, a treasure sealed away by ancient kings. But the urn is actually solid rock, carved from the same rose-red sandstone as the entire monument. The markings you see on its surface are not from ancient treasure hunts, but from explorers long ago, who gently tapped the stone with quiet hope. They believed that a hollow sound might reveal a secret chamber, a hidden vault of riches. Now, these small indentations remain as a testament to human curiosity, a soft echo of dreams that never quite came true. The Nabateans were not just builders of tombs, they were masters of water, sculpting a hidden network that brought life to the desert. Sophisticated channels were carved into the cliff walls, guiding rain and spring water with thoughtful precision. These channels led to terracotta pipes that ran beneath the city, ensuring a peaceful and constant flow of fresh water. Through this quiet ingenuity, they transformed a barren landscape into a lush oasis, where gardens bloomed and fountains played in the heart of the arid wilderness. Imagine the gentle sound of water trickling through ancient stone, a soft murmur that sustained a thriving civilization. Their legacy is not merely in the grand monuments, but in the subtle whisper of water that once breathed life into this forgotten canyon. As we stand before the Petra Treasury, there's a quiet enchantment in its colors that most overlook. The stone itself shifts softly with the day's journey. In the tender light of morning, it glows with a pale honeyed gold, as if welcoming the sun. Then, as the hours pass, the iron and manganese oxides within the sandstone begin to work their ancient alchemy. Over millions of years, these minerals drifted through the rock, and by twilight, they transformed the facade into a deep, warm rose. It's a quiet spectacle, a daily symphony of light and stone, where the cliff itself seems to blush with the memory of eons. Now, consider the monumental scale of this place and how it came to be. Carved directly from the living rock, the treasury was sculpted not from the ground up, but from the top down. Workmen would have started with the ceiling, etching out ornate details high above, and then they slowly descended, layer by careful layer. This ingenious method meant they needed no scaffolding, as the stone itself became their platform. Imagine the cliff face, and within it, the treasury emerging like something from a waking dream, slowly revealing its form from the rough embrace of the sandstone. It was a process of unveiling, where patience coaxed beauty from the silent mountain. Step inside if you can, and you might find yourself surprised. For all its elaborate exterior, the heart of the treasury is strikingly simple. Behind that carved facade lies a large, quiet chamber, with walls that are plain and unadorned. There are no intricate carvings here, no golden treasures, just a serene emptiness that cradles the silence. This stark contrast hints at a deeper purpose, a space designed not for spectacle, but for silent reflection. It was likely a tomb, a peaceful resting place for the departed, where the spirit could find stillness wrapped in the cool, dark embrace of the sandstone. For centuries upon centuries, the entire city of Petra was a hidden dream, known only to the Bedouin people who lived in those silent valleys. They guarded its quiet beauty, a secret whispered from generation to generation, unseen by outside eyes. The Western world was unaware, until a Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt heard murmurs of a lost city. In 1812, driven by curiosity, he disguised himself as an Arab traveler, venturing into the Wadi Musa under the guise of a pilgrimage. Through his brave and clever deception, he became the first outsider in hundreds of years to lay eyes on the treasury, returning its image to a world that had long forgotten it. And now, today, the treasury stands bathed in a quiet that has lasted millennia. The desert wind drifts through the sick, carrying soft whispers that dance around the columns. In the distance, you might hear the gentle echo of camel bells, a rhythmic and lulling sound that seems to measure time in sighs rather than seconds. The vast open spaces of the Wadi Musa Valley envelop the site like a great blanket of stillness. Everything here exists beyond the rush of modern life, inviting you into a feeling of boundless calm. It's a place where the past feels present, and the very air teaches you the art of simply being still. Hey, still wandering through the Rose City with me? That's okay, you don't need to be awake for this. But if your eyes are still heavy with wonder, there's more silence to share. If you're enjoying this, a like helps other night owls drift here too. Imagine a building that is not a building at all, but a dream carved from the heart of a mountain. The treasury of Petra, known as Al-Khazneh, rises from the warm, rose-colored sandstone as if it grew there, a silent sculpture hidden in the desert. The ancient Nabateans shaped this breathtaking facade from the cliff itself, working from the top downward with a patience that defies understanding. Without scaffolding, they hollowed out the stone, leaving behind a structure that seems to float between earth and sky, so light and graceful that it feels like a mirage made solid. In the quiet of dawn, its columns and pediments catch the first light, glowing softly as if still dreaming of the hands that freed them from the rock. Look closer, and you can see the stories whispered into the stone. The facade is adorned with celestial figures and mythological beings, a peaceful tapestry that blends worlds together. The Egyptian goddess Isis stands near the Greek goddess Tyche, their forms weathered but serene, as if they have always belonged side by side. These carvings speak of a people who welcomed the drifting influences of the Mediterranean world, letting different beliefs settle into their sandstone like gentle rain. The Nabateans carved this silent harmony, a reminder that beauty can emerge from the meeting of distant shores, and now these goddesses watch over the canyon like guardians of a shared dream. High above, at the very top of the facade, a stone urn rests against the sky. For centuries, local Bedouin legends whispered that this magical urn held a hidden treasure of gold, a fortune locked away by ancient kings. The rock itself tells a different story, its surface marked by ancient weathering and small pockmarks where hopeful shots were fired long ago, but the urn is solid stone, keeping its secrets quiet and undisturbed. It holds no gold, only the weight of time and the memory of all those who gazed up in wonder, letting the breeze carry their dreams away into the desert silence. To stand before the treasury, you must first wander through the SQ, a narrow canyon that guides you like a gentle hand. The walls rise on either side, high and curving like soft curtains of stone, their colors shifting from pale pink to deep amber as the light changes. This winding passage stretches for over a kilometer, each turn a quiet invitation to slow your steps and breathe. Then, without warning, the cliffs part and the treasury appears, bathed in a sudden golden glow that feels almost like waking from a dream. That first glimpse, framed by towering rock, is a moment that settles deep into the heart and stays there, soft and luminous. The Nabateans who shaped this place were masters of a different kind of magic, the silent art of water. They carved hidden conduits and laid terracotta pipes into the sandstone, channeling cooling streams through the desert with gentle precision. This unseen system guided water drop by drop, nurturing gardens and fountains where nothing should have grown. In the heart of these arid mountains, a lush green oasis bloomed, a secret paradise fed by their care. Even now, as you stand in the ancient city, you can almost hear the faint murmur of that water, a soothing lullaby that still flows beneath the stone, reminding us that patience and skill can coax life from the most barren silence. Petra, the ancient city carved into the Jordanian desert, is often called the Rose City. Its name comes from the soft, shifting hues of the sandstone cliffs. As the sun arcs across the sky, the stone changes from a gentle blush to a deep, velvety red. This natural color palette creates a warm glow that wraps around the city like a soft blanket. The light seems to dance slowly over the walls, painting them with hues of honey and amber. It is a place where the earth itself radiates calm and gentle beauty. Within this city lies the Treasury, a magnificent structure shaped from the living rock. In ancient times it served as the royal tomb for King Aretas IV, a silent and eternal resting place. This tomb speaks of a time of great prosperity and the quiet dignity of ancient kings. Imagine the care and reverence that went into carving such a sanctuary from the solid earth. It stands as a testament to the peaceful passage of time, where the past rests undisturbed. The carvings seem to hold the secrets of centuries, whispering gently in the desert breeze. This quiet monument invites the soul to reflect on the beauty of eternal rest. The treasury remains a serene guardian of history, its presence a gentle lullaby in the stone. The precision of the carvings on the treasury is truly remarkable. The columns and pediments mirror the classical styles of Alexandria and Rome with exacting symmetry. These balanced lines create a sense of harmony that soothes the mind. Each curve and angle invites the gaze to follow a rhythmic dance, leading to a state of calm. In this ancient craftsmanship, there is a quiet perfection that helps the mind drift into peaceful meditation. This symmetry is like a silent melody, flowing smoothly through the architecture. It feels as if the builders captured a breath of divine order in every stone. The mind can rest here, embraced by the gentle rhythm of the carved patterns. Deep within the sandstone walls, nature has painted its own masterpiece. Veins of multicolored minerals hide in the rock, creating swirls of purple, yellow, and orange. These colors look like floating clouds of paint, suspended in time. The organic patterns weave through the man-made carvings, adding a layer of natural artistry. It is as if the earth dreamt in colors while the city was being born. These hidden hues are a secret garden of light, visible only to those who look closely. The walls seem to whisper with the soft colors of a sunset, frozen in rock. This natural art adds a dreamlike quality to the ancient structures. It is a gentle reminder that beauty often lies in the quiet, unexpected places. As evening descends upon Petra, the valley settles into a profound stillness. The stars begin to reflect off the smooth surfaces of the sandstone, creating a mirror of the night sky. The cool night air brings a peaceful silence to the treasury, wrapping it in a blanket of calm. The timeless desert wind echoes through the canyons, a soft sigh from the past. In this moment, the world seems to stand still, and the heart finds rest. It is known as the Treasury, yet the name is a gentle illusion. The true story is softer, more serene. This place was never a storehouse for gold. It was carved as a royal tomb, a majestic resting place, cut into the living sandstone around the 1st century AD. The name comes from a beautiful urn that crowns the facade. Long ago, Bedouin people looked up at that urn and believed it held the hidden treasure of a pharaoh. And so, the legend wrapped itself around the stone, giving it the name Al-Khazneh, a treasury of dreams. This dreamlike monument waits deep within the ancient city of Petra, and to reach it, one must drift through a narrow gorge called the Sikh. It winds gently, curving for more than a kilometer, like a soft ribbon of shadow and rock. The towering walls rise high above you, red and rust-colored, leaning inward as if to guard a secret. The path beneath your feet is smooth, worn by centuries of quiet footsteps and whispered stories. Inside the Sikh, the air feels cool and wrapped in a peaceful seclusion. Then, as you move forward, a slender sliver of light begins to glow ahead. Through that opening, the treasury slowly reveals itself, emerging from the shadows like a vision. When you finally gaze upon it, your eyes are drawn upward to the towering facade. It is a masterpiece of the Nabatean people, a quiet statement of grace. Their architecture blends two worlds softly. The flowing curves speak of Hellenistic elegance, a style carried on ancient winds, and the steady, upright pillars echo the strength of Egypt. These two influences do not clash. They float together in perfect harmony, a stone dream of two civilizations breathing as one. This place was the crossroads of old trade routes, where caravans rested and cultures mingled. The treasury stands as a silent monument to that union, but what makes the scene truly dreamlike is the very rock it is carved from. The sandstone of Petra is famous for its shifting, iridescent hues. That is why many call it the Rose City. As the sun moves across the sky, the golden light paints the stone in different shades. At dawn, it might glow a deep, rich crimson like a blush upon the mountainside. Then, as the day softens, the rock warms into a gentle peach, so soft and warm you could almost feel it with your eyes. Sometimes, when the light is just right, the whole facade seems to breathe with a rosy glow. It is a quiet dance of light and earth, forever changing, forever beautiful. And as you stand in awe of this beauty, you might wonder how it came to be. This entire treasury was not built by stacking stones. It was carved from the living rock from the top down. Craftsmen climbed the cliff and began their patient work without scaffolding. They chipped away gently, piece by piece, letting form emerge from the mountain's heart. It was a slow, meditative process, as if they were waking a sleeping beauty inside the stone. They did not impose their will. They listened to the rock and coaxed the architecture to appear like a dream taking shape in the morning light.
Look closely at the ancient stone, and you will see figures from another time. The goddess Tyche rests there, her form softened by centuries of wind and sand. Beside her, the winged figures of Nike seem to hover in mid-flight. These stone guardians have kept their silent watch over the valley for 2 millennia. They drift through the ages in a state of quiet contemplation, their eyes half closed, dreaming of empires that rose and fell. You can almost feel their quiet presence as you stand in the shadow of the great facade. Time moves differently here, measured not in years but in the slow erosion of sandstone. The winged Nike seems caught in a moment of eternal stillness, her robes flowing in a wind that ceased blowing centuries ago. Tyche, the goddess of fortune, holds her gaze steady, as if still bestowing luck upon those who journey here. The treasury is carved into sandstone that holds a secret palette of colors. Within the rock are gentle swirls of blue, yellow, and purple minerals. These veins flow through the stone like slow-moving rivers of paint, frozen in time. They remind you of a watercolor left in the rain, the colors bleeding softly into one another, preserving a moment of natural beauty for all eternity. In the soft light of dawn, these colors seem to shift and dance. The purple deepens like a twilight sky. The yellow glows like captured sunlight. It is a canvas painted by the earth itself, a masterpiece hidden in plain sight. Looking at these frozen rivers of color, you might forget that they are solid stone, feeling instead that they could begin to flow again at any moment. For many centuries, the location of Petra was a closely guarded secret. Only the local Bedouins knew of this hidden city, nestled deep within the desert canyons. To the Western world, it was a myth, a whisper on the wind. The Bedouins had protected this place for generations, treating it as a sacred trust. Then in 1812, a Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt entered the valley under a cloak of quiet mystery. He traveled under the guise of a Muslim pilgrim, his heart beating softly with the thrill of the unknown. Disguised and speaking the language, he walked softly through the high, narrow cleft of the Sikh, the walls closing in around him. He must have felt a sense of entering another world. Then the path opened, and the treasury stood before him, bathed in the cool light of morning, a moment of silent revelation that he would carry for the rest of his days. The Nabateans who built this place were masters of water. They carved an intricate system of terracotta pipes and channels directly into the living rock. These channels guided fresh water through the arid desert, a gentle lifeline that allowed gardens to bloom and fountains to sing. Imagine walking through this dry canyon and suddenly hearing the soft trickle of water. The Nabateans engineered a miracle here. Their terracotta pipes were laid with precise angles, guiding spring water from miles away. This gentle flow nurtured date palms, figs, and fragrant herbs. There were bathing pools and fountains that offered cool respite from the desert heat.
The water sang a quiet song, a lullaby for the stones, a promise of life and renewal in a land of thirst. As evening descends upon the valley, the treasury begins to glow with a warm amber light. The setting sun kisses the rose-colored stone, and for a few moments, the whole cliff face seems to breathe. The valley transforms after sunset. The heat of the day fades, and a cool breeze stirs through the canyons. Then the stars emerge, one by one, and along the narrow canyon of the Sick, thousands of flickering candles are often placed. Each flame flickers gently, casting shadows that dance on the carved facades. The rose-colored stone reflects the warm light, creating a soft, ethereal shimmer. The light dances across the ancient walls like a river of fallen stars. Under the vast canopy of stars, this ancient place feels suspended between earth and sky, a dream that has lasted through the centuries. The stone itself seems to remember every flame, every quiet footstep, every whispered prayer. Now, let your thoughts settle upon the treasury, known as Al-Khazneh. It is not a building constructed piece by piece. Instead, it was released from the cliff itself. Ancient hands began at the very top, carving downward through warm, rose-red sandstone. Day by day, they peeled away the rock, working in a slow, patient dance. They let the great facade emerge gently from the mountain, as if it had always been sleeping there, waiting for the light. And high above the entrance, a stone urn crowns the monument. For centuries, a soft mystery clung to it. The Bedouin people told each other that a hidden treasure of gold lay inside that carved vessel. The truth is quieter. The urn is solid rock, no golden secret tucked away, yet the desert wind and rain have weathered the sandstone over countless years. Now, that stone holds a gentle, ethereal glow, as if it remembers the dreams woven around it. To stand before it, you must first leave the open world behind. You wander through the Sek, a winding canyon of deep, peaceful shadow. The towering walls rise so high they seem to hold up the sky, their colors shifting from amber to blush in the cool air. The path narrows and every step becomes a slow, rhythmic breath. Then at last, the walls part just enough to offer a slender sliver of light, and through it, the glowing facade appears, serene and silent. Look closer at the stone itself. The architecture is a graceful conversation between cultures. You see the skill of the Nabatean builders blended with the beauty of Hellenistic design. There are columns that seem to float, topped with delicate leaves of Corinthian style. Fine friezes trace stories across the rock. These intricate details are quiet evidence of how artistic whispers traveled across vast, distant deserts, carried by caravans and curiosity. The Nabateans were masters of a hidden world. They created a quiet network of terracotta pipes and secret cisterns, threading cool water through the silent mountains. This invisible system was their true treasure. It caught every rare rainfall and carried it gently into the heart of the city. So, in this arid land of stone and stillness, a lush, green sanctuary could bloom. For a moment, you can imagine the soothing sound of water and the scent of damp earth, a fleeting dream of life in the peaceful desert. The treasury was likely built as a royal tomb, a quiet place for a Nabatean king to rest in peace. Its grand scale was designed to evoke a sense of wonder and stillness for all who drifted into the city's embrace. As you gaze upon its intricate facade, you might feel a soft blanket of calm settle around you, carried on the desert breeze. This monument stands not as a show of power, but as a gentle invitation to pause and reflect, to feel the weight of history with tenderness. The carvings and columns seem to hum with a quiet reverence, honoring a king whose memory has become part of the wind and stone. In the silence of the approach, the city seems to wrap you in its arms, a timeless embrace. The stone of the treasury has a life of its own, shifting colors with the sun's gentle passage. In the early morning, it glows a pale peach, as soft as a sunrise blush, welcoming the new day with a tender light. As the hours pass, the hues deepen, and by sunset, the rock is bathed in a deep, warm crimson, like the embers of a dying fire. This natural transformation earned it the name the Rose-Red City, a poetic tribute to its ever-changing beauty. The colors seem to breathe, reminding us that even stone can feel alive under the desert sky, and each shade tells a story of time's slow dance. From dawn to dusk, the facade is a canvas of shifting feelings. Hidden beneath the surface of the sand, a quiet series of chambers and tombs lies waiting, carved into the earth with careful hands. These subterranean spaces remain cool and dim, a sanctuary from the harsh desert sun, keeping the secrets of a lost civilization. The silence here is thick, almost tangible, as if the ancient world is still sleeping, wrapped in shadows and sand. For thousands of years, these rooms have preserved a profound quiet, untouched by the noise of the world above. Stepping into these depths feels like entering a soft dream, where every stone holds a breath from centuries past. The air is heavy with the weight of time, yet soft like a forgotten lullaby.
Look closely at the facade, and you'll see figures from myth staring back with a calm and knowing expression. The goddess Tyche, the protector of fortune and prosperity, is there, her gentle face carved with reverence. She seems to watch over the valley, her presence a soft anchor in the shifting sands of time. These ancient carvings hold a stillness that transcends the ages, like guardians of a dream that never quite fades away. Her gaze is a quiet blessing, a reminder that fortune and peace are intertwined in the fabric of this sacred place. The other deities and creatures join her, their stone eyes reflecting the stars like old friends. As evening falls over Petra, the valley is often illuminated by thousands of flickering candles. Each flame is a tiny pulse of warmth, dancing on the sandstone like fireflies in a gentle dusk. The city, once stone and shadow, now floats in a golden haze, a soft dreamscape where time stands still. This illumination wraps the ancient walls in a cocoon of peace, inviting the soul to rest and the mind to wander. The treasury shines like a silent heart, beating with light, and the whole valley becomes a lullaby of warmth and gold. The candles are lit one by one, a ritual that transforms the night into a gentle celebration of stillness. Drifting in the candlelight of Petra, that's a beautiful place to be. Let the rose-red dreams carry you gently. I'll whisper on through the quiet valley. The treasury, known as Al-Khazneh, was never a storehouse for gold, despite the shimmer of its name. Historians believe it was carved as a peaceful resting place for a Nabatean king, a silent tomb hidden away in the warm desert rock. The legend tells a different story, that an ancient pharaoh once hid his treasure inside the giant stone urn perched at the very top. Yet the stone is solid, holding only the quiet weight of centuries, and the myth drifts on like a soft, half-remembered dream. This entire grand facade was not built, but instead gently released from the rose-colored sandstone cliff. The architects started their work at the very top, carving downward with a slow, patient rhythm, as if uncovering something that was already there. Every cut was final, each flake of stone a commitment. There was no way to fix a mistake, no second chance, so their hands moved with a deep and focused certainty, guiding the shape into being from the sun-warmed rock. To find the treasury, you must first float through the Skuk, a narrow canyon winding between walls that rise so high they brush the sky. The sandstone closes around you like a cool, shadowed embrace, the path curving gently, hiding what lies ahead. All is hushed and dim, the air softer, the light a distant memory. Then, slowly, the corridor opens, and the glowing facade reveals itself at the end of the path, a bright vision of carved stone and golden light, filling the heart with a quiet wonder. The architecture itself is a gentle meeting of distant worlds, blended into one serene face. Greek Corinthian columns stand alongside motifs from Egypt, while the delicate touch of Nabatean artistry weaves everything together. This harmony was no accident. Petra was a crossroads where caravans and cultures drifted together peacefully, exchanging stories and dreams in the desert air. The stone remembers that unity, holding the shapes of different lands in a single, quiet structure that seems to breathe with the shared spirit of ancient travelers. The sandstone of Petra carries a hidden alchemy of iron and manganese, painting the city in a signature palette of soft pinks, deep reds, and warm oranges. When the sun glides across the surface or the moon washes over the cliffs, the colors seem to stir and shift, glowing with a soft inner light. The rock does not simply reflect the sky, it holds its own quiet warmth, pulsing gently like a living thing. In the silence, the stone offers a dream of color that flows and fades, never quite the same from one moment to the next. As you gaze upon the treasury, your eyes might catch the faint outlines of wings. Hidden within the sandstone are subtle carvings of creatures and figures that seem to float among the clouds. These delicate details were placed there by gentle hands to lift your spirit. They evoke a feeling of transcendence, a deep spiritual calm. It is as if the very rock itself is breathing with a quiet, heavenly grace. Long ago, the Nabateans understood the secret language of water. They carved a quiet network of terracotta pipes and channels right into the cliffside. This invisible engineering brought refreshing water into the very heart of the desert. It was a miracle hidden in plain sight beneath the dry earth. And so a lush green oasis bloomed among the rugged mountains, a gift of life whispered through the silent stone. Now let your gaze travel slowly upward. The treasury stands nearly 40 meters high, reaching toward the open sky with a silent, towering presence. Its proportions are not meant to overwhelm you, but to hold you in a gentle embrace. You feel small, yes, but wonderfully peaceful, enveloped by the vastness of the ancient stone. It is like being cradled by time itself, surrounded by a stillness that asks nothing of you. For hundreds of years, this city remained a hidden secret. It was known only to the local Bedouin people, who lived in quiet harmony with the cliffs and the wind. The world beyond the desert did not know it existed, and the treasury slumbered undisturbed. Then, in the year 1812, it emerged softly from the shadows, like a waking dream. It was not a sudden shock, but more like a memory resurfacing after a long, restful sleep. As the evening air cools, the rose-colored stone begins to change. It absorbs the soft glow of twilight, turning a deep and muted purple. The silence of the surrounding desert wraps around the treasury like a soft, warm blanket. In this gentle hour, the ancient monument becomes a sanctuary of timeless stillness. It is a place where the soul can rest, untouched by the passing of ages, held forever in a dream of stone. The treasury, or Al-Khazneh, stands not as a vault for gold, but as a royal tomb carved into the rose-red sandstone in the 1st century before Christ. A local legend whispers that an Egyptian pharaoh once hid a great treasure within the stone urn that crowns its facade. This myth gave the monument its name, even though its true purpose was to honor the dead and their journey beyond. Imagine the ancient hands that shaped this silent sentinel, believing it could guard secrets beyond earthly riches. Now, it rests in the desert, a memory frozen in stone, waiting for the sun to touch it again. To reach this ancient wonder, you drift through the Sikh, a narrow, winding canyon where towering cliffs embrace you in a quiet, sheltered passage. This natural corridor, carved by time and wandering waters, gently guides your steps toward the first glimpse of the treasury. The light plays a gentle game between the stone walls, and then it reveals itself as a sliver of brilliance, a promise of wonder ahead. The world outside fades into a hushed hush, and you are held in this tranquil space, moving slowly, as if in a dream. Every step feels like a sigh, drawing you deeper into the heart of the mountain. The entire facade is carved directly into the living rock, from the top down, a quiet testament to Nabatean engineering. Picture the workers, suspended on floating scaffolding, their breaths held in concentration as they coaxed this vision from the mountain's face. With immense precision and tender care, they ensured that the delicate Corinthian columns and ornate sculptures remained perfectly aligned with the stone's natural grain. This method was not just skill, but a deep reverence for the earth, letting the mountain itself shape the monument. It stands today as a seamless part of the landscape, born from patience and the whisper of stone.
The treasury's architecture is a peaceful blend of styles, merging Greek, Egyptian, and Nabatean influences into one seamless vision. Here, elegant Hellenistic figures drift beside traditional Eastern patterns, a quiet dance of cultures that never clashes. This harmony reflects Petra's history as a crossroads of the ancient world, where weary caravans and wandering souls once converged under the desert sky. Each carved detail tells a story of distant lands and shared dreams, all woven into the rose-red stone. It is a gentle reminder that beauty often blooms where paths cross and worlds meet in stillness. The soft, rose-colored hue of the sandstone breathes with the day, shifting from a pale gold in the morning light to a deep, warm crimson as the sun dips low. This natural palette paints the city with a timeless warmth, earning it the name the Rose City. As the hours pass, the walls seem to glow with an inner fire, a gentle pulse of color that soothes the soul. It is a reminder of nature's quiet artistry, a living canvas that never sleeps, always dreaming. In this light, Petra feels less like a ruin and more like a dreaming entity, cradled in the arms of time. High above the entrance, hidden from easy view, a stone urn rests in quiet solitude. It has been shaped by centuries of wind and soft, patient rain, its form worn to a gentle roundness. While legend says it once held treasure, the urn is actually carved from solid rock, a silent sentinel above the valley. For 2,000 years, it has kept its watch, a timeless guardian in the shifting light. Imagine the slow turn of days and nights it has seen, the endless parade of clouds and stars passed beneath its gaze. Its stillness is a kind of peace, a lesson in waiting that the desert teaches so well. No riches were needed for its purpose. It stands simply as a marker of time, a faithful companion to the horizon. Beneath this silent watch, the Nabateans worked their own quiet magic with water. They were masters of the hidden current, carving a gentle network of terracotta pipes and channels into the living cliffs. This invisible system brought fresh water to the treasury, a lifeline through the stone, and allowed a lush oasis to bloom right in the heart of the arid desert. A sanctuary of cool air and soft greenery. Picture stepping from the hot sand into a space of damp shade and the scent of moist earth, a miracle of refreshment. The soft music of flowing water would have been a welcome sound, a promise of life in a thirsty land. It was a hidden paradise, a secret green heart beating under the sun's fierce eye. For those who knew the way, this was the greatest treasure of all, more precious than gold. Now let your gaze drift to the facade, where the stone itself seems to dream. Carved figures of the goddess Tyche and the Dioscuri float there in eternal stillness. They were placed to welcome weary traders arriving from distant, hard-won journeys. These figures offer a sense of protection and deep peace, a silent guard against the unknown. Their presence is a gentle embrace, a message carved in rock that you have arrived at a place of rest. Look closely, and you can almost feel their calm radiate outward, a benediction frozen in time for 2 millennia. They have watched caravans fade into history, yet their expression of welcome remains as fresh as the morning dew. In their company, you are never truly alone in this vast, quiet place. And if you step inside, the world changes in an instant. The interior of the treasury is a surprisingly simple, square chamber carved into the cool darkness of the mountain. How different this is from the ornate exterior, which sings with detail and light. Here, the air is still and heavy with a rhythmic silence, a quiet that feels almost like a heartbeat. It is a sheltered space cut off from the desert breeze and the sun's harsh glare, a container for pure solitude. In this quiet, thoughts can settle like sand in still water, and you are held in a timeless, peaceful pause. This chamber has known only the soft echo of whispers and the gentle tread of those seeking a moment of reprieve. It is a gift of simplicity, a reminder that true sanctuary often lies within the plainest walls. Now, as evening softly descends, the scene becomes something even more magical. The area around the monument is often lit by the soft, flickering glow of hundreds of candles. This creates a floating sea of light that dances on the sandstone surfaces, turning the ancient site into a shimmering golden dream. Each flame is a tiny, wavering star, reflecting off the carved walls like a memory of fire from a past age. The warm light seems to breathe life into the stone, making it glow from within. In this gentle radiance, you might feel yourself drifting, as if the entire monument is a dream you are quietly walking through, held in the calm of the night. This is a place where time loses its edges and all that remains is beauty and stillness.
Al-Khazneh, the treasury, is a name born from mist and longing. It was never a vault for gold, but a royal tomb carved to cradle the final rest of Nabatean King Eredes IV. The stone holds his silence, deep and vast in the heart of the rose-red cliffs. A legend whispers of an Egyptian pharaoh who stowed his treasure in the urn high above, a soft story that drew seekers from afar. Their hands reached up, leaving weathered marks on that urn, scars of hope and disappointment. Now the urn stands still, a witness to centuries of human dreaming, wrapped in the warm, hushed air of Petra. Feel the texture under your touch, soft and weathered, a gentle reminder of time's slow passage, as the treasury glows in the dim golden light.
Imagine the treasury not built, but carved from the top down into the rose-red sandstone cliffs. Ancient sculptors floated on wooden scaffolding, their hands shaping the soft, warm stone from above. They coaxed intricate Corinthian columns and silent figures into being, each cut a gentle whisper against the vast sky. This method left no trace of their passing, only the beauty that dreams before you now. The stone remembers their patient touch, a soft and steady breath that echoes in the still, deep canyon. It is a monument born from the air, cradled by the warm, quiet earth. You can almost hear the faint echo of chisels, a distant lullaby in the stone, as you stand in the deep, soft silence where human hands and nature's warmth converged, leaving a dream etched in rose red. To reach the treasury, you must drift through the SQQ, a narrow, winding gorge where rock walls soar nearly 200 meters high. This path stretches over a kilometer, hushed and deep, each step building a quiet ache of anticipation in your chest. The cool, vast stone encloses you then. Through a thin sliver of rock, the facade begins to reveal itself. It emerges slowly, a warm secret unfolding in the gentle golden light. Your breath stills as the treasury rises before you, a vision that feels like a soft, half-remembered dream. The SQQ's walls cradle you one last time, then release you into this revelation, a soft, glowing presence that fills the vast, quiet space, as you are suspended in that moment, held by the warm stone and the deep stillness of centuries. The facade is a quiet symphony of styles, blending Egyptian, Greek, and Near Eastern whispers into one breath. You can see the goddess Tyche, a Hellenistic vision, floating in the carved stone, her grace intertwined with Nabatean motifs. These figures mingle like a dream, soft and seamless, telling stories of ancient trade and shared beliefs. Each delicate etch was made with tender patience, a warm embrace of diverse cultures that now rests in the deep, vast silence. The stone pulses with this harmony, a gentle reminder of how worlds can touch and dissolve into one. In the warm, dim light, you can trace the soft contours of these ancient voices, a quiet testament to a world where borders melted into the vast desert, as the stone becomes a gentle historian, its silence speaking volumes of unity and grace. The sandstone of Petra holds a natural, shimmering palette, a soft whisper of colors. From deep crimson to pale pink and golden yellow, these warm hues shift gently as the sun dances across the curved surfaces. In the morning, it glows with a rosy fire, and at dusk it fades into a muted golden sigh. The still air cradles you, wrapped in this gentle warmth, as the stone itself seems to breathe with ancient, quiet life. Every shade is a tender note in a lullaby sung by time, echoing through the vast, hushed canyon. Close your eyes and feel the warmth seep into you, a soft caress from the ancient earth, as this palette becomes a gentle dance, a lulling rhythm that invites you to rest, cradled by the deep, timeless beauty of Petra. Beneath the sun-baked surface of Petra, a whispered secret of water lies carved into the living rock. The Nabateans, masters of the desert, sculpted intricate channels and deep cisterns with patient hands. They captured every rare drop of seasonal rain, guiding it through the stone in a silent, peaceful flow. This hidden network allowed the oasis to bloom in the harsh, dry climate, a miracle of quiet engineering. You can almost sense the cool moisture in the still air, a soft pulse that sustained life in the ancient city. It is a testament to the gentle power of water, a resource treasured and held sacred in this vast, arid landscape. The secret of their survival rests in this silent, life-giving design, a quiet song in the heart of the desert. As you emerge from the narrow, winding sick, the world abruptly opens up, and the treasury stands before you in breathtaking scale. It towers 40 meters high and spans 25 meters wide, carved directly from the rose-red cliff. This immense facade reflects the profound wealth and cosmic ambition of the Nabatean trading empire, a civilization that reached across deserts and seas. The vast sense of openness is almost overwhelming, a deep breath in the quiet canyon. The stone feels warm from the sun, yet its grandeur carries a soft, awe-inspiring weight, a silent song of an ancient, prosperous age. It is a threshold into another time, where the wind carries the sense of faraway markets and forgotten caravans. For many centuries, the city of Petra slumbered as a hidden secret, its rose-red monuments unknown to the distant Western world. Only the local Bedouin tribes knew its winding paths and silent tombs, their whispers guarding the sacred valley. Then, in 1812, Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, disguised in modest garb, gently crossed into this lost world. He drifted through the sick like a shadow, bearing the secret with a careful heart. His quiet rediscovery brought Petra back to the awareness of mankind, but its ancient stillness remained unbroken. The rocks have held this memory, warm and deep, for millennia, a silent sentinel in the vast desert. Even now, the feeling of a buried secret lingers in the sand-worn air. The interior of the treasury reveals a surprising and profound simplicity. Beyond the ornate facade, you step into a large, square chamber with plain, smooth walls. There are no lavish carvings here, no echo of the external grandeur. This stark contrast is intentional, a quiet statement that the outer beauty was meant for all to see, a public monument to honor the dead and the divine. Inside, the air is cool and still, a sacred space where the soul of the treasury rests in peaceful reflection. It is a gentle reminder that true meaning often lies in the simple, the unseen, the deeply felt. The silence inside holds a warm, ancient calm, a soft breath of eternity. Here, the heart of Petra beats in a rhythm only the spirit can hear. As evening gently falls, a soft enchantment descends upon the area around the treasury. Thousands of flickering candles are set in careful rows, their flames casting a warm golden glow on the ancient stone. The soft light dances and breathes, mirroring the atmosphere of centuries past, when lanterns may have lit these same paths. This luminous peace allows visitors to drift into a state of quiet wonder, lulled by the gentle fire and the deep starry night. In this moment, the city feels alive again, wrapped in a timeless dream, a whisper of its former glory echoing through the canyon. The glow seems to sink into the rock itself, a soft, golden memory of an age that never truly fades. It is as if the entire valley is resting, breathing in the quiet light. Imagine the rose-red cliff, warm and deep, holding its secret tight. Feel the warm stone under your fingertips, so smooth it seems to hold the sun. The treasury was carved from the top down, a sculpture in reverse, from the sky to the ground. No scaffold touched this wall, only the gentle brush of hands carving, chiseling, drifting like a falling feather. The intricate details, the petals of the capitals, the gentle arches, all bloomed out of the stone as if nature herself had whispered them into being. There is no scaffolding in this memory, only the slow descent of the carvers, patient as time. They let the stone guide them, revealing the treasury that was always hidden in the warm rose depths. The rock cradles the facade, holding it in a soft, eternal embrace. The facade glows with a soft, warm light, still and eternal. It breathes in the silence, a wonder carved from the heart of the earth. They named it the Treasury, but it holds no gold. It is a tomb, the final resting place of King Eretz IV, a king of the Nabateans long ago. His sleep here is warm and deep, wrapped in the soft stone. The facade, so noble and graceful, reflects the quiet dignity of a monarch. It was built not for show, but for eternal peace. The warm rose walls cradle his memory, soft as a lullaby, deep as the desert night. Step close and feel the stillness. The air is cool and still, carrying the scent of ancient stone. The king's sleep is undisturbed, his dream woven into the rosy walls. Here, prestige is a quiet echo in the hollowed rock, a gentle hum of forever. The tomb breathes a slow peace, a serenity that seeps into your bones. In this warm, deep stillness, you can almost hear the faint whisper of a king's eternal rest. Look upon the facade, and you will see a gentle marriage of worlds. Greek goddess Tyche stands serene, her eyes soft and knowing. Winged victories float above, their wings so finely carved they seem to dissolve into the warm stone. Egyptian pillars and Near Eastern arches merge in perfect harmony, each line softened by the rose glow. This is not a sharp clash, but a slow, warm embrace. Every detail was etched with a whisper of devotion, a prayer into the rock. The light shifts, and the figures seem to move, breathing in the stillness. The warm stone holds the memory of these cultures, cradled in its rosy heart. Tyche's smile is faint, her robes flowing into the rock. The winged victories are light, as if they could lift you into a dream. The blend is seamless, a quiet song of unity. Here, in the deep stillness, differences melt away, leaving only warm, soft beauty. To find this hidden wonder, you must wander through the SQQ. The gorge is narrow, deep, its walls rising high on either side, cool and shadowed, above a thin ribbon of sky, pale and soft. Your footsteps are hushed, swallowed by the stone. The path winds gently, a secret passage carved by water and time. Then, the walls part just a sliver, and a golden light seeps through. The treasury reveals itself not all at once, but slowly, like a dream unfolding. A moment of soft wonder, held in the warm embrace of the rocks. You stop and breathe in the stillness. The air is thick with peace, and the world outside fades away. All that exists is this sliver of gold, and the silent, warm rock. The canyon walls close behind, a gentle curtain. The treasury stands, a warm breath of gold. The stone of Petra is not just stone. It is alive with color. Swirls of deep red, soft pink, and warm orange curl through the rock, ribbons of light. As the sun arcs the sky, the hues shift and glow, breathing slow. The city inhales the morning, exhales the dusk. The sandstone holds the heat of day, releasing it softly into the cooling air. The light plays across the facades, painting them in ever-shifting pastels. At dawn, a soft pink blush, at midday a deep orange glow, at dusk a sleepy red. The rock itself seems to dream, its colors a slow lullaby. This is a place of deep time, where the earth pulses with life. So still, so vast, so warm. Feel the heartbeat of the ancient city, a gentle whisper of stone and light. Close your eyes, let the warmth carry you. The city breathes, and you breathe with it. Now, let us whisper through the ancient city of Petra, a place of soft stone and deep dreams. Beneath the rose-colored stone, clay pipes and carved channels wait in the cool darkness, a hidden system from ancient times. The Nabateans gathered peaceful streams of rainwater,
so soft and gentle, guiding each drop to transform the vast, dry desert into a lush, floating oasis. Feel the deep stillness of that water, a quiet, life-giving whisper in the heart of the arid landscape, where coolness and green life once blended in the warm air. It is a secret symphony of water, so calm and slow, turning dust into a soft green embrace under the vast, still sky, a reminder of life's gentle persistence.
At the very top of the treasury, an urn carved from solid stone stands against the deep blue twilight, a solitary figure in the calm sky. Legends once claimed it held a pharaoh's hidden gold, but now it is a soft, rounded silhouette, weathered by centuries of gentle wind. Feel the quiet of that stone, so warm and smooth under the fading light as the wind whispers past it, carrying ancient dreams into the still night. It is a silent guardian over the valley below, where all is at peace, and the soft breeze keeps telling stories of what might have been, a lullaby from the past. Inside the treasury, a surprisingly simple chamber awaits, carved deep into the heart of the mountain, in stark contrast to the elaborate exterior. The interior is a quiet, hollow space where the air remains cool and calm, a soft, still embrace. Feel the deep peace of this sanctuary, where the warmth of the outside world fades away, leaving only a gentle, floating coolness that fills the silence. It wraps around you like a soft blanket in the darkness, lulling you into a state of restful calm, a deep sleep in the earth's gentle hold, where time stands still and all is quiet. Petra was once a thriving crossroads, where caravans of camels drifted slowly through the valley, their soft footfalls a gentle rhythm in the warm dust. The scent of frankincense and myrrh filled the air, a rich, velvety fragrance that created a sensory bridge between distant, exotic lands. Imagine that deep, aromatic embrace, so warm and soothing, as it floats on the still breeze through the rose-colored cliffs, a whisper of ancient trade in the quiet night. It carries tales of spice and silk under the star-filled sky, a soft, sweet memory that lingers in the air like a dream, wrapping you in its warm, fragrant arms. They call it the Rose City, for its cliffs have a delicate floral palette that glows in the soft light of dusk. As the moon rises, the stone takes on a muted, velvety quality, wrapping the whole valley in a peaceful, shimmering embrace. Feel that gentle light wash over you, so warm and soft, a vast, still calm that holds everything in a quiet, dreamlike trance. The very air seems to shimmer with a soft pink haze under the silent, starry sky, a gentle glow that soothes the soul and invites you to sleep in its tender hold, a lullaby of light and stone. Rest now in the gentle hold of the Rose City, where all is calm and still. Al-Khazneh rises from the rose-red cliff, not as a storehouse of gold, but as a royal tomb, where carved stone melts into the living rock like a dream woven into the earth. Through the sick you drift, where towering walls cradle your steps in shadow, until the canyon parts and the glowing facade breathes into view, a secret finally shared. Here, the stone speaks in many tongues, Nabatean traditions entwined with Greek and Roman grace, where Corinthian columns sigh and weathered gods look on with timeless eyes. Petra's sandstone blushes from pale dawn to deep crimson dusk, its hues shifting with the sun's slow caress, as if the city itself inhales and exhales the light. High upon the facade, a stone urn rests, where legends said a pharaoh's gold was sealed, but it is only rock, holding nothing but the quiet riddle of the ages. In the quiet of the desert, they sculpted stone veins to carry each precious drop, and where no one thought to look, a garden breathed among the dunes. For ages it slept behind mountain sentinels, until a lone explorer stepped softly through the sick, and saw the rose-cut wonder emerge from shadow. Time's breath has brushed against the carved facades, turning sharp lines into something like velvet, as if the stone itself remembers how to yield.
A sea of tiny flames flickers beneath the ancient facade, their gentle light stretching shadows across the sand into a hush that holds the whole world still. When twilight claims the ridges, the rose-hued rock surrenders to violet, and the old city is tucked into the night's velvet arms, with only stars to witness. And so, as our journey through the rose-lit wonders of Petra comes to a close, let the stillness of its ancient valleys settle within you. The Sikh has led you home, and now it's time to rest. If this quiet exploration brought you peace, a gentle like would be a whispered thank you. And when you subscribe, know that I'll be here, waiting in the hush, whenever sleep feels far away. Good night, sleep deeply, and remember the Rose City still stands in starlight, ready to welcome you back when you're ready to wander again. Rest now, everything is exactly as it should be.